Are you thinking about buying an electric car right now? What will charging it cost you? And how big are the differences in charging costs across Europe? Let's break it down properly with real-world examples and a clear look at how you can cut your charging costs. Hi, and welcome back to the GoE YouTube channel. I'm Amy, and I'm telling you that when, where, and how you charge your electric car has a huge impact on what you end up paying. Prices can vary quite a bit, depending on whether you're charging at home or on the go or at a rapid charger. So let's start with the most common option, charging at home. To this day, charging at home is the most popular, most convenient, and usually the cheapest option. You get home from work, plug your car into the wallbox, and the next morning, you're ready to go with a full battery. Simple as that. Across Europe, electricity prices vary enormously. In the UK, you're currently looking at roughly 24 to 28 pence per kilowatt hour, depending on your region and tariff. Germany and Denmark are consistently among the priciest in the world for home charging, typically 30 to 35 cents per kilowatt hour. Finland and Norway are a different story, thanks to abundant hydropower and dynamic spot tariffs. Home electricity there can drop to as low as 5 to 10 cents per kilowatt hour on a good day, making them some of the best places in the world to own an electric car. If you're charging a company car at home, there are also financial incentives in many countries, tax benefits as well as reimbursements for charging costs and infrastructure. And it gets even cheaper if you've got solar panels. Pair them with a smart wallbox and charge for free on sunny days, using excess solar energy. That's about as cost-efficient as it gets. Public charging is super convenient, especially for long-distance trips, but it's also, in most cases, significantly more expensive than charging at home. In the UK, public charging prices are among the highest in Europe right now. AC charging typically costs between 50 to 70 pence per kilowatt hour, while DC fast charging usually sits between 70 and 85 pence per kilowatt hour. And if you're using ultra-fast HPC chargers, the ones that can add hundreds of miles in just 15 to 20 minutes, prices can climb to 90 pence or even over £1 per kilowatt hour. That's about 3 to 3.3 times more, or roughly 200 to 230% more than you'd pay at home. Across many EU countries, public AC charging typically falls somewhere between 40 and 65 cents per kilowatt hour, while DC fast charging usually ranges from 50 up to around 85 cents, depending on the country and the provider. But here's where it gets interesting. The Nordics. Countries like Finland and Denmark are among the most affordable markets for public charging. In Finland, for example, DC fast charging averages around 35 to 45 cents per kilowatt hour, making it one of the cheapest in Europe. So overall, the pattern is pretty clear. Public charging is far more expensive than charging at home, just about everywhere in the world. In some places, you'll pay about double. In others, it can be 3, 4, or even 5 times as much. If you travel a lot and rely on rapid chargers, it's often worth getting a subscription with a charging provider. You'll pay a monthly fee, but the lower per kilowatt hour price can make up for it surprisingly quickly, sometimes after just 1 or 2 sessions. And one last thing to watch out for is roaming fees. If you cross borders and switch between charging networks, prices can jump quite a bit. So, it's always worth checking before you plug in. As you can see, charging at home is clearly cheaper, even more so if you use a flexible tariff, if you charge overnight when prices are lower, or if you automatically optimize charging using a smart wallbox. Let's walk through a simple example. Say you're driving a mid-sized electric car that uses about 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. If you charge at home and pay around 25 cents per kilowatt hour, that comes out to about €5 per 100 kilometers. Now compare that to public fast charging. Depending on where you are, you're looking at roughly 14 to 17 euros per 100 kilometers. That's around triple the cost and can be even more. If you happen to be in a country like Germany or Denmark, where home electricity costs closer to 30 to 35 cents per kilowatt hour, then relative to that, public charging will also be more expensive, so the gap is just as wide. So what does that mean for you? If you mainly drive short distances or if you commute regularly, charging at home is definitely the way to go. For longer trips, the best approach is usually a mix. Charge at home before you leave and top up at public charges along the way. Relying solely on public charging usually only makes sense if you don't have access to home charging. It's also worth thinking about your driving habits when choosing your EV. Battery size plays a big role here. A larger battery gives you more range, but it also costs more upfront. It increases your car's energy consumption due to the extra weight, and it takes longer and costs more to fully charge. Let's put this in perspective and compare it with a traditional petrol or diesel car. Fuel prices across Europe have been quite volatile lately, but as of April 2026, the EU average sits at around €78 per litre for petrol and about €2 per litre for diesel. In the UK, prices are currently a bit lower, around 135 to 140 pence per litre for petrol and about 140 to 145 pence for diesel. But the overall picture is the same. Combustion engines are significantly more expensive to run than EVs charged at home. Worth noting, currently diesel is more expensive than petrol across most of Europe. It used to be the other way around. If a petrol car uses about 7 litres per 100 kilometres at the average price I've mentioned, you're looking at roughly 12 to 13 euros per 100 kilometres. A more efficient diesel car using around 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres comes to about 11 to 12 euros per 100 kilometres. And again, that's with diesel currently costing more than petrol across most of Europe. Now compare that to an EV charging at home, roughly €5 per 100 kilometres at an average home rate, a whopping 55 to 60% cheaper than diesel. Public fast charging without a subscription costs 14 to 17 euros per 100 kilometres, roughly on par with combustion engines. With a subscription plan, frequent DC chargers can get costs down to between 6 and 9 euros, but real saving starts at home. If you drive around 1,200 kilometers per month, you could save 700 to 900 euros per year compared to a petrol car, just by charging at home. Let's do a quick recap. Charging at home is the cheapest option almost everywhere in the world. In most markets, you're paying roughly 5 euros per 100 kilometers. Public fast charging can easily be 2 to 3 times that, and in markets like the UK, even more. Compared to petrol or diesel, the difference is also clear. A conventional car costs around 12 to 13 euros per 100 kilometers at today's fuel prices. An EV charged at home costs less than half of that. Your wallbox is your biggest lever. Add a smart tariff, charge overnight, throw in solar if you have it, and EV ownership is hard to beat. So, plan your charging in a smart way and you won't just save money, you'll drive more efficiently and sustainably. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any tips around electric driving. I'm curious, where do you usually charge your EV? At home or on the road? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for watching the video and I'll see you in the next one. Amy from GoE.